Hello, and welcome to the Los Angeles podcast of Anaheim, a semi-daily audio blog for all things Angels baseball. Game 1 is in the books, and sadly, the Game 1 podcast is not going to be a victory lap. The A's get 3 homers, the Angels get just 1 and lose 4-2. Ricky Nolasco pitched okay. He gave up 2 homers, one to Stephen Vogt, one to Chris Davis, and there was a mini rally in between. 3 runs on 7 hits, 2 walks, and 5 2/3. It could have been worse. The bullpen got him out of trouble in the 6th inning, or else his stat line would have looked exactly as bad as you would expect for somebody who gave up 9 base runners and 2 homers in 6 innings. On the offensive side, the Angels didn't make much of the few chances that they had against Kendall Graveman, who I don't recall being able to throw this hard, as hard as he did tonight, 95 with a hard sinker. The Angels had chances in the 1st and 3rd innings. Double plays took care of that. The Angels had 2 on with 2 outs in the 8th, but C.J. Cron grounded out to end that threat, and that was pretty much it. Aside from the Trout homer in the 3rd, this huge 2-run shot, the Angels get nothing. A couple of spring training trends continued, stuff that everyone should have expected and probably did. Cameron Maybin looked awful, totally helpless at the plate. Espinosa had a bad spring, and he was bad today, 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. And Martin Maldonado was every bit as bad as we expected, 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. All in all, the 6, 7, 8, 9 spots in the order combined to go 1 for 15 with 8 strikeouts. That's not going to get it done. That's not any good. That won't win any games. And yeah, it's just one game, but this lack of offense from this group of guys, that's a trend that's been going on for a month now, and it's pretty consistent with what we expect from them based on what they did before in their careers. So, they lose Game 1. Probably too early to panic. Maybe Game 2 we can panic. So, in Game 2, the A's are going to come back with Sean Manaea. He's a big 25-year-old lefty. Before last year, he was a top 50 prospect. The A's called him up early, and he pitched well for them. He picks up a lot of strikeouts with a fastball that touches 96 and has huge movement. And the A's always do this. Billy Beane always cobbles together a team with older guys, older vets like tonight's closer, Santiago Castilla, or Chris Davis, 2 homers. And young guys like Manaea or Kendall Graveman or Ryan Healy. The A's will stink for a few years, and then suddenly and for no apparent reason, everybody matures and they win 90 games. So, maybe this is that year for them. They've been terrible the last couple years. The Angels are going to start Matt Shoemaker. Now, every start for Shoemaker is going to be a big deal. Shoemaker starts and Garrett Richards starts are all going to be important. Because if the Angels want to hang around and be competitive, these guys need to combine for 60 starts and pitch well. Now, some people will say that April games are no big deal, that April losses aren't that important. Well, a loss now counts just as much as one in September. A win now is worth just as much as one in October. When Shoemaker's on the mound, especially against a division rival, this is the type of game the Angels can't just shrug off. They can't dig a hole in April that they spend the rest of the season digging out of. And also, tomorrow night, we're hoping to see the trends that Maybin, Espinosa, etc. continue. We know Houston's tough. We know Texas is good. We know Seattle is going to be competitive. We don't know that about Oakland, and we really don't know that about the Angels right now. And this is what April is going to establish, where the Angels stand in the pecking order of the division. Until maybe about 30 games in or so, the Angels have time. I mean, this is one game. It's not a big deal if you lose one game. But losing is a habit, and if you're losing to division rivals, that's going to be a game that you can't make back up. So, these games do matter in a way that other losses don't. Hopefully Game 2 gives us Angel fans more to cheer for and something more interesting to talk about than other people's homers. For now, I'm signing out. Have a good night, and I will talk to you soon.